Hello everyone, Nintendo Gen 64 and Jess, Meteor Girl, are here, and guess what? It is November the 11th in Australia, as I'm uploading this, which means that No Time to Die comes out today, which means that we had to finish our James Bond review series, and here we are with Spectre. We literally just got done watching this movie like 2 or 3 minutes ago, so the film is fresh in the brain of both of us. Fresh in our brains. So yes, before we give our thoughts, let me just quickly give you a plot synopsis. So, Spectre takes place right after Skyfall, and there's a mysterious organization that seems to be going around the world causing terrorist attacks. At the same time, there is an evil conspiracy to set up a intelligence agency with 9 government organizations known as the Nine Eyes system, the Nine Eyes intelligence thing. Could these two things be connected? What is Bond gonna do? And who is the mysterious leader of Spectre? All these questions are revealed in this film. So, what did you think of Spectre? Tell me your thoughts about this film. Just broadly, please.
I liked it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was alright. It wasn't the best movie, but I thought it was alright. I think it's my second favourite out of all 4 Bond films.
Whoa, okay, alright. Tell me, why is it your second favourite though?
I just enjoyed it more than Casino Royale or Quantum Solace. I enjoyed it more.
Is that because you're more familiar with the Bond character? Is that because some of the aspects of his adultering and his misogyny has been dropped out of his character?
Yeah. Also, the more I think about it, I think Casino Royale, I was very bored over the whole poker thing. It was very based around that, which also bored me. Like, there was a large chunk dedicated to like them playing poker. So I don't know, I just think this is my second favourite. I didn't think it was too bad. It wasn't the best. Was not even close to Skyfall, but it wasn't bad.
That's interesting, yes. Now this obviously is a direct sequel to Skyfall, so it does pick up on a few plot threads of Skyfall, such as, again, we have another plot surrounding the concept of the relevancy of the MI6 agents. This time, we have your mate, Andrew Scott, aka Moriarty from the Sherlock series, plays a character called C, his name is. And in his, you later find out he's working for Spectre, and he's trying to set up a intelligence agency for them. Did you like where they were going with that? Did you think we needed another plot where they tackled the exact same kind of thing we tackled in the previous film?
It wasn't needed. No, it wasn't needed at all. Only reason why I was happy was in there is because Andrew Scott was in there. Because
you're a big Sherlock fan.
I'm a massive Sherlock fan, and he basically was very similar to his Moriarty role. So that made me happy. But no, they didn't need to revisit it.
I didn't think so either. And the other thing with this film too was that it really... Skyfall was great because it was like where they went with Quantum of Solace, with the whole quantum situation, with the whole organization, with that whole thing. They just dropped that with Skyfall and told like a really personal, down-to-earth, for a Bond film, story with Silver going after M. Silver getting revenge on his former section chief M.
Yeah.
And then, in this film, it is revealed that Le Chiffre from Casino Royale, the guy from Quantum of Solace, and Silver all work for Spectre. What'd you think of that plot revelation?
Wasn't needed, but I think that it was... I'm not mad that it was in there, as mad that it was in there compared to the whole revisiting whether or not MI6 was if MI6 can exist in the modern world, and also the plot, the reason why the leader of Spectre is so mad at James Bond. I think those 2 reasons are actually quite... Why did you put that in there? You didn't need to. Where the whole like him running Spectre, even though it's like, oh, that makes no sense. Kinda, I'm okay with it being in there more than the other 2, if that makes sense.
So you brought up his motivation. So let's talk about the big villain of the film. His name is, you think his name is Franz Oberhausen. And look, I'll just, as a big Bond fan, when I was watching all the promotional material leading up to this, they kept talking about, oh, Christoph Waltz is going to play Franz Oberhausen. He's not Blofeld at all, because, as you probably don't know this, but in the classic Bond series, the ones from the 60s, Blofeld is the leader of Spectre, and Spectre stands for Special Executive for Extortion, Terrorism, Revenge, and... Yeah, a Special Executive for Extortion, Terrorism, and Revenge, sorry. That's what it is. So it's like this, evil organization, and the guy who runs it is Blofeld. So, obviously, in a movie called Spectre, the main villain being Christoph Waltz, we all expected him to be Blofeld. And then it's like, oh no, his name's Franz Oberhausen, whatever. And then towards the end, he's like, actually, the author of all your pain, Mr. Bond, has been me, Ernst Stavro Blofeld. And they say it in this thing. And I said to you, does that mean anything to you?
Oh, no, yeah. Okay, I was confused by that. And you're like, watch this. And he's like, did it mean anything to you once he said it? And I'm like, no.
Exactly. So, it
means nothing to me.
We always talk about this in the wrestling world, but you always try to get the casuals in. And I just thought the revelation that this guy was this other guy, it meant, who cares? It didn't mean anything. And just, I don't like the idea of him being Bond's adoptive brother who gets jealous of Bond, kills his father, and then is on an evil revenge mission that involves all these other people with their own plans, but they're not their own plans, and it's all this guy. I just think, it diminishes the other films, because it actually makes Silver less significant, because it's like Blofeld and Spectre told him to kill him. I don't know, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of the whole revelation myself.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. And I thought Christoph Waltz in this was a bit one note. I thought he wasn't he didn't have much going for him in terms of performance. He just was soft-spoken, not that sinister. I don't know. What do you think of him?
Honestly, I agree. I think, to be honest with you, the only one that had the most charismaticness of a villain in this movie, and maybe this is just me biased, but was Andrew Scott.
Not Batista?
Oh yeah, Batista reminded me of a Jaws.
Yeah, Batista plays Mr. Hinks, who's another silent killer like Jaws. He was good for the physicality. He had good facials. He doesn't have a single line in the film. But I hope they bring him back at some point. They could bring him back. I thought he was okay. Yeah, he was.
I was gonna say he does have the charisma, because we've seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy, but then you're not going to really be able to bring the character that he has in that film into a James Bond when he's a villain. That's
right, and of course we have the Bond girl, which is Lea Seydoux playing Madeline Swan, who is the daughter of Mr. White from Casino Royale and Quantum. Bringing him back was quite an interesting thing, because I felt like after Skyfall they'd abandoned that plot thread, and so they bring him back to tie the whole thing together, I suppose. And then he's got a daughter, Madeline Swan, who I guess Bond falls in love with head over heels more than any of the other Bond girls.
Yeah, more than Vesper.
Which was weird, because at the very end of the movie, he ends up with her. I never saw her as a kind of I never saw her as the kind of guy Bond would settle down with,
Yeah.
In there's a movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service. In that one, he gets married to Tracy Bond, who's played by Diana Rigg, and she's fantastic. You really get the feeling like she can sort of hold her own words. I don't get much from Madeline Swan. She's not. I wish there's not much to say about her really. She doesn't have that much of a character. What do you think?
No, I agree. Well, the whole thing is the entire film. Whenever they're in danger, it's actually sorry. The only thing that she did to defend herself and hold her own was throwing the watch.
Yes, which he kind of told her to do.
Which he told her to do. Every other time they were in danger, she was hiding behind him while he shoots everyone to take them to safety. He's carrying her, down the floorboards to the floor thing, ground floor of the building that's about to explode. So he's, in charge of, helping getting her out. She won't shoot a gun. She won't hold her own.
Yeah, well, I don't know. She's important because we know she's going to be in No Time to Die. So it's actually watching. I haven't seen Spectre in probably 3 years or something. I haven't seen it since like the promotional material for No Time to Die came out. So I kind of had a feeling she would be in it, but I didn't know in what capacity or whatever. But it's gonna be interesting because there's a few scenes in this where she's like, oh, you know, a guy came to my home to try and kill my father, and I knew where he hid the gun or something like that. And there's a few things that'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays into it. And I liked, you know what, something I did like, I like the use of the MI6 regulars. Like, I thought M was great in this film.
Yes.
He had a great, one of my favorite lines in any Bond film is the one where they're in the office and C, like, he's like, oh, I guess we know what M stands for now, and he points his gun at him and he goes, moron. And then he pulls the trigger and then the bullets come out, and then M's like, I guess now we know what C stands for. And then, you know what? When I went to the movies and saw this, every time, I saw it like 2 or 3 times in the cinema, people like laughed at that scene. They were like, oh, C, oh, I wonder what C stands for. And then he like shows that he's got the bullets in his hand, and then he goes, careless. And I'm like, oh, you ruined a great joke. You could have just like left that one. But no, I did like M. I liked Q. Q was great. I liked Moneypenny. I liked Tanner. I like the whole crew. I like that Bond's got a group of people.
I like Q. Q's cool.
Q, he's a good guy. He was the one who cracked the Spectre thing. The only thing that I don't get with the whole Spectre thing, let's just circle back around to that for a second. So he says this is what Blofeld says. He says, Le Chiffre, Green, Silver, they were all me, he says. Okay, like, I'm just thinking, like, the plot of the first movie was that Le Chiffre had really royally fucked himself because the stocks of that airline company didn't tank. So he had to set up the poker tournament, right? Did Blofeld tell him to set the poker tournament up? Is that what he did? Because Blofeld surely wouldn't have expected the airline stocks to fall apart, did he?
Maybe he had a report on everything that he did or happened, like, as soon as it happens. Maybe like every day he had to like ring up this guy and go, yeah, so this happened today.
And then Blofeld's like, alright, you gotta do a poker tournament. Quick, go, make my money back.
Yeah, so every single day of his life is like, he's told what to do. He's just every single day going, hello, this is my weekly report. What do I do now?
And then when Silver joins up to Spectre, he's like, oh, Blofeld's like, tell me a bit about yourself. He's like, well, you know, I used to be a prisoner of war, and this woman, M, she like didn't treat me well. He's like, M, okay. Silver, how would you like to have your own island, and then I'll set you up with a great plan to go get her. Which, by the way, the only way M dies is because of a stray bullet, right? She just gets shot by, like, a stray bullet. Like, no one actually, like... And I don't think Silver even shot her. So, when Blofeld's like, oh yeah, poor M, you know, poor Vesper, I'm like, wait, what? These things did not have anything to do with you. To me, when you put the stakes that high and you set this guy up to be the mastermind of everything, it has to be watertight and it has to be planned from the start. But you know they didn't plan this from the start.
Yeah, no. It was like a little thing in the drawing board where they're like, well, this would be a cool storyline. What with this?
And I think they got a get out of jail free card with Skyfall. They could have just like stopped the whole quantum thing at that. And people clearly didn't care that much. And then they could have done a new thing. They didn't have to go back to all that old stuff after Skyfall. But they couldn't leave well enough alone. So, look, my humble opinion, I feel like Spectre is definitely like a 2.75 out of 5 film. 2.75. Now, the reason for 2.75. 2.5 is average, right? Dead on average. I think it's just a tiny bit better than average. There's a couple things I did like in there. Like, I liked the fight scene on the train. I thought that was good. I liked the exploding stuff at the end. Actually, one thing I did hate, though, was when Blofeld was lying there and Bond goes up to him at the very end, and Blofeld's like, finish it. Like, and then Bond is like, oh, you know, is he gonna shoot? And then Madeline's there. Like, who cares? At this point, who would care if Bond killed Blofeld? It's not, what, like, is this why are we setting a morality situation up at the very end? I don't know.
So you classify 2.5 as average?
Out of 5, 2.5 is average.
I say 3.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. When people do rating scales, typically, like, anything less than a 3 is not great, so, you know.
Well, I'm just going to say 3, because to me 3 is average.
There you go. 3 out of 5. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so look, honestly, my ranking, if I had to do this in order so far, in the ones we've seen, it would definitely go, the worst one was Quantum of Solace, then this one, then Casino Royale, then Skyfall.
Okay, so mine's pretty similar, but I would go and swap this one and Casino Royale.
Okay,
So it'd be Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale, Spectre, Skyfall.
Very good, very good. All right, well, look, we'll see how we go. We're going to go see No Time to Die.
Time to Die.
And we'll come back and do a review of that. I'm so excited. And we'll see you guys then. So as I always say, farewell for now, but not forever. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Bye.
See you guys.
Yeah.